This don't make no damn sense to me. Dating apps. You kidding me? Right now, there's a lot of women who are having to learn to settle for a man who doesn't make $200,000 a year because they can't make it. They can't make it. Women make 80% of the purchasing decisions in the United States. So that's pretty significant. That means she's spending 100% of hers plus 60% of his in a relationship. Right? Relationship. We call dating a relationship. No, 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 no. Dating is sex. That's what it is. You may not be having sex. You may be having sex, but that's the end goal there. What's the difference between a friend and a boyfriend? Sex. Now I know we get into all the dynamics of free love and, there's open relationships, and sure, fine, have that. Don't try to force everybody else to do it. Not every woman has to be a lesbian just because you hate men. Not every man has to be a homosexual just because your mother used to beat on you if you couldn't get it up. Some of y'all got some sick, twisted stuff in your head from your own trauma. What's the difference between trauma and drama? Mine or yours? What's the difference between stuff and junk? Mine or yours? A lot of people wanted to get involved in my situation and a lot of other people's situations. They don't have nothing to do with sex. But of course, you got to project on us. Hey, you know what? All men want is one thing. Meanwhile, the women that I hear saying this the most are the ones who are the biggest horn dogs. Hey, you're always talking about needing to get laid. Go do it. I'm not stopping you. Why are you complaining to me? So we got these 20% that all these men's advocacy places want to talk about, right? And they all want to cater to, the 80% that women are never going to be attracted to. Okay, here's the thing. Studies have shown, many, many, many studies have shown, that while a woman will tell you some of the qualities that she wants in a man, she still wants him to be attractive, right? Wants him to have money, wants him to be successful, wants him to be a good provider. Which women, first of all? Why are we categorizing women like this? Why are we categorizing men like this? Why is it only about the top 20%? Because even on these men's sites, it's about the dating type relationships. It's not about interpersonal relationships so far as friendships. That friendship dynamic. No, most of these things they try to cater to pretending that the tools in the toolbox could possibly potentially be a contender for breeding. Don't give them false hope. Stop trying to tell them to be somebody they ain't. You get to see the ones that have these channels. There's some guys who have some really outstanding channels that are dog ugly and they got like 30 subscribers. Yep. There's some real large men out there with thick Coke bottle glasses and long beards, bald on top. They got channels that are dedicated to the same stuff. Of course, we see Chloe Roma, and she's one of these pretty women. There's a lot of these pretty women who are speaking up about men's rights, but they're doing the same thing, trying to cater to men who are already at the upper echelon. You're catering to the 80%'s want and desire to be the 20%. We all want to be breeders, right? I mean, look at how many relationships, I mean, friendships that you've lost because somebody fell on top of a penis or fell into a vagina. And then, of course, 3 months later, it's that he said, she said bullshit. And one of them idiots is coming crying back to you as a friend. You can't do that. You cannot be that friend. If you are that friend, she will always come back and take advantage of the fact that she can do that. When you're the one in that situation, she's going to tell you her man said no. She's going to go back to that idiot. You're going to take the abuse. If she doesn't go back to that idiot, it's going to be some other idiot. I try to focus on the fact that the dating should not be the important part. The humanity should. You can make as many laws as you want to make human bias illegal. It still exists. You can make as many laws as you want to make reactions to trauma illegal, but those reactions to trauma will still exist. There's a lot of us men out here who have busted our asses our whole lives, not for your vagina. But of course, that's what it's always about, isn't it? It has to be. You've been taught that we only do things for vagina. Vagina, 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 vagina. You know what? Breeding is not a right, it's a privilege. The other person has to be okay with it. Otherwise, it's rape. How many of y'all know women who have completely destroyed a man's life because he said no? Because he wasn't interested? How many married men ended up committing suicide because their wife and kids left over some crazy nut job? Hell, you guys could type up the name Long Island Lolita. Read that story. Today we have technology. Technology that if the victim is allowed to show it, which a man won't be, not if he's homeless, not if he's disabled, any imperfection of a man, oh, he must be a horrible monster because he's imperfect and will twist it how we choose. But an imperfection with a woman is always a man's fault. We broke her. We all did it together. It was a communal decision to destroy her self-esteem, wasn't it? No, we're getting fucking shoved that same propaganda as everyone else. We're also taught, just like everyone else, we're supposed to protect women and we're supposed to protect children. But I'm seeing that instinct in women less and less. It seems to be about the gimme generation. It didn't matter how hard I worked. I wasn't going to get free college. Doesn't matter what my disabilities are, they only exist when you want them to, and they don't exist. Well, it all comes down to situation, doesn't it? How does it benefit you? Does it benefit you in this moment for me to be crazy? Or does it benefit you at this moment to, Sean knows what's going on? So I don't know what's going on when somebody punches me in the face, but if I were to punch someone else in the face, magically I know what's going on. Well, that comes down to, well, all of our society comes down to women's criteria for dating. That's all of it. Starts off with wealth and looks. Wealth and looks. Now you guys want to say, hey, men are the same way. You're right, you're right, you're right. But men are more direct. Men are less likely to be passive aggressive about something. That's just annoying. Just ask. Be direct. When it comes to a friendship, I don't need a woman to practice manipulating on me. You want help getting out of that situation or not? Now, if it's important for me to listen to your whole story because you're taking him to court, sure, I'll listen to your whole story and I'll go in there with you for your safety. I'll even look at your evidence. But you want my help moving you and your kids out of a house, let's say, which happens a lot. Not so much now that my back is screwed up. Well, you're friends with that guy because he'll help you move. Well, he's not your friend. He really isn't your friend because when he needs something, he's not attractive. He doesn't have a bunch of money, but he's got his time. And that's where you're utilizing of his. Or he's got a pickup truck and some time. And that's what you're utilizing of his. When you say, hey, it's an emergency. I got 2 days to get my stuff moved out of here. And I've called everybody else. Well, yeah, he'll show up. But how do you talk about that guy? When you go back to that screwed up husband, how's that guy who helped you out going to be treated? Oh, I hate him. I can't stand him. That's because he came to her rescue and she needed it. Well, when she claimed to need it. In many of these cases, it turns out that she's going to tell a different story when she goes back to him. So there's no sense in helping her out. She's not going to help you out in that situation. She's going to say, well, you got a truck. You should do it yourself. I had to do it myself. I focus on the relationships that aren't dating because that's what the rest of us are. The rest of us, the other 80% of us who are not in the dating pool, we're still humans and we still deserve human rights. We still deserve the benefit of the doubt. And the benefit of the doubt is assigned according to gender. It's assigned according to wealth. It's not assigned to the actual situation, is it? Like you get to see with Natalie Bollinger and her friends. Yeah, they gaslighted the hell out of me. And because I'm a male, I don't matter. Because it's easy to blow me off by calling me mentally ill. I don't matter. I have to beg people to care about me. When you say, oh, well, if you have to beg people to care, they probably don't. Well, exactly. Or if you have to beg people to care, just drop them off like a bad habit. Well, that sucks when it's essential for those people to speak up to help stop abuse. My predators wanted to claim I never tried to get help. It's not that I didn't try to get help. It's that you guys are all sick in the head. You're too busy with your perversions and trying to get laid. You can have sex. I'm not telling you that you can't. I'm telling you it's gross, and I don't want to take part in it. When people try to convince me that I should like sex, no. You know what? I'm not trying to convince every straight man out there that they should like having sex with gay people. I'm not trying to convince every gay person out there that they should be straight. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you thinking? Those are two good questions. When you want to talk about respect, talking over the victim ain't no kind of respect. What are you thinking? There's a whole bunch of these what are you thinking questions that I got. What are you thinking? Now that 80% of us who are busting our asses and not getting jack shit out of it, yeah, it stands to reason that people would, wouldn't they? When we're harmed by somebody who's good looking and has money, It's our fault, isn't it? There's nothing we can do about it, people say. No, 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 no. There's always something we can do about it. Like, stop paying for all their shit. There's a lot of women who get free rides because they were irresponsible. Contraception is not just a man's responsibility. It's both of yours. When it comes to interpersonal relationships, when you want to pretend all men are rapey, you know what that means? That means that you're prone to playing victim, and I want to get the hell away from you. I don't want to be around any woman, ever. I have legit reason to fear women. Every man does. And the less attractive he is, the more he has to fear. And the less money he has, the more he has to fear. There's also parts of female dynamics that confuse the shit out of us all to this day. Like, sure, women say all the qualities they want, right? But they want them in an attractive man, a man who they're already attracted to, a man they can look at and think dreamy thoughts about like that. But then she's going to complain if men are attracted to women in any way, shape, or form. A man is not allowed to be physically attracted to a woman or otherwise. If women pretend that men are more superficial, does that make men more superficial? No. Studies have shown that women are far more superficial. Far more. Far more likely to try to move into another person's already pre-made situation. I pay attention to my surroundings, and I pay attention to the people in my surroundings. Not every man is a horrible man, not every woman is a horrible woman, but people, in general, are selfish. Neurotypicals are far more selfish than neurodivergent peoples, such as myself. But I use my brain while you use your groins. I use my brains while you use your loins. And we got Chloe Roma, right? And then we got that dude in Australia. He's got a beard, but he's muscular. You know, he's definitely not an unattractive guy. There's also that lady in Australia. I mean, sure, she's no Pamela Anderson from the 90s, but she's not physically unattractive. Y'all are sick, perverted, nasty individuals. And then, of course, I did tell the truth. But I'm not allowed to tell the truth if it offends you. That's the modern world. It doesn't matter who's guilty and who isn't. It matters who's popular. Money can buy popularity. We all know this. Looks can buy popularity. We all know this. Now, why are we trying to assign this shit to people who aren't down with that shit? Why do we want a different set of rules for us than for someone else? To give us an advantage. It's like being the D&D dungeon master. You're in charge. People like to have control. A lot of people, when they have no control in their own lives, they'll go mess around and fuck around with other people's lives. A lot of people tell me about this loyalty bullshit. Loyalty above all else except honor. And they cannot do the honorable things, so why would I be loyal? There is no loyalty from them. Certainly no honor. When you've already decided, well, you're a fucked up kind of person, ain't you? Finding somebody who actually cares, that's near impossible. People are willing to do a lot more for you if they have something personally invested in. Well, if they don't have a dog in the fight, it makes it a little different. So all these men's rights sites that are catering to, well, mostly the dating thing, the sex thing, how to be more attractive and more appealing to others. One of them 5 criterias for women, and this is real sad to say, ignoring her. If you ignore her and you dismiss her, that makes you just a little bit more attractive. If you don't seem to be attracted to her, that makes you different. The more pretty she is, the more offended she is likely to get if you're not attracted to her. I've had a few guys tell me, dude, there's some real pretty women that really like you. Holy shit. Why? Because I'm not interested? Because I don't want nothing from them? That don't make sense. Men aren't allowed to have needs. It makes them, well, how do women treat us for showing emotions? We're children. We're children. We're weak. Well, shit. Why would I be good to you if you're just going to treat me like shit for it? Why would I help you how you need when obviously you don't? You got people separated into 2 different categories in your life. The ones that you hang out with and the ones that you use. I get that you like sex. A lot of people get that you like sex. That's why, of course, even when it comes to the men's rights advocacy and women's rights advocacy, we're not listening to the big fat biker dyke. I'm sure Susie and Michelle have a lot to say on women's rights. Both of them identify as biker dykes. Well, it makes sense. They're both large women who ride motorcycles. They are lesbians. They should be allowed to be. But that's not the face that we put on modern lesbians. No, that's the face that we put on man-haters, isn't it? Are either one of them man-haters? No, not particularly. I mean, I'm sure there's men in their lives that they are taking offense to, or taking a disliking to. But I'm a guy, and they never treated me that way. Now we look at these men's rights advocates. Them, same thing, catering to the same people. The dating. You want to give women dating advice, and you're giving horrible advice. Women giving other women dating advice. Oh, men think this, and men think that, and do this, and do that, and all the stuff that you do to try to help your friend get a boyfriend is stuff to get a superficial man. Well, if he's superficial, he's going to leave you for somebody else. If he's got options, it's easy for him to throw you away and get a new one. But that's not just for boyfriends, that's also with friends. We have taught women in this country to be very expectant of men, and also to say one thing and do another. And this confuses everyone in our society. When your actions show that your words are bullshit, you want to hide the actions. When your words show that your actions were bullshit, you want to hide the words. Oh, I didn't say one thing and do another. You certainly did. All of you do. And catering to people who are giving up their entire lives and getting nothing out of it, but you want to make your channel about what's going to cater to them because you can make some money. You put a good-looking person up there, and people will listen. Anna Moomin, a lot of people listen to her because she's pretty good-looking. The guy from the autism world, or from the Aspie world, yeah, he's pretty good-looking. He's also got holes in his face, make him look kind of like a bad boy a little bit. A cute one, though. Like a bunny rabbit with a spiked collar. Of course, he's not a men's rights advocate. He's an autism advocate. And when we look at the problems that men are having with women, autistic people are having with all of you, because it's not just women. Yes, our entire society, literally our entire society, caters to women. We've got women who spend most of their time trying to keep men in a constant state of breeding mentality. You got to keep him stupid. He's not going to be able to think real great if you keep leading him on. He'll keep doing your bidding if you keep leading him on. And then when he gets sick of it and fucking leaves, oh, then, now you're interested. But you know, the moment that he stops anything that he's doing to give you the attention that you crave, you are not going to respect him for doing it, and you're going to go right back to playing like a yo-yo. That's why you always end up with men who are fucking abusive. See, while you play men who are in the lower 80%, you play them. The good-looking men that you're throwing yourself at are playing you the same way. They're getting what they want and they're leaving. But also look at what you're advertising. Look at what you're advertising. Yeah, I heard your sugar and spice speech. I also see you dressed like a $2 hooker trying to string out some dude twice your age out of his wife and his kids because you want the house and you want the dude. Why does it have to be about that? It's not okay to be friends with someone anymore. It is never okay to be somebody's friend anymore. There's no loyalty in it. Soon as he finds a vagina he likes, or she finds a penis that she likes, or goes to some place where she's going to find somebody who's superficial because she's horny. That's right, she's getting horny, but she has to hide it. She has to pretend that she doesn't get horny, or she'll be ostracized. And a man has to pretend that he doesn't get horny, or he's going to be ostracized. Unless he's good looking. Then it's, oh, you're expressing your sexual freedom. But if you're ugly, it's you're a pervert. So many of us, we swore off sex, got sick of the insinuations and the BS, and went, you know what, we're going somewhere else. There's nowhere else to go. The entire country caters to women. There's no way to get away from them. There's no way to get away from this sexist insanity. And it's not just coming from men. It's not just coming from the enemy, it's also coming from our friends. The very men who complain about the same things as you will still stab you in the back for some vagina tonight. If you need your friend because something horrible is happening, they may say they're gonna, but you get to look at Brandon Ratner. Every time there was a vagina involved, he was gone. There needs to be a place for those of us who are single, who aren't interested in your vaginas or penises, and aren't even interested in our own. Now, it's okay to be interested in your own and nobody else's. You play with it to your heart's content. It's yours. It belongs to you. It's nobody else's. And nobody has the right to tell you what you can and cannot do with it. Actually, they do. They do have the right to tell you what you can and cannot do with it. But it's still yours. So you don't have to listen. Same with owning a house. But, well, you get to see the tougher things get, the more superficial people become. The more they reach for that 5-second cookie, that 5-second orgasm, that, well, superficiality, that distraction from life. Do you lower 80% women and men? Do you ever get sick and tired of going to work every day? And then you got to go back to your bachelor or bachelorette pad? You're alone. You're still going to work. You're watching the self-help tapes and trying to do the yoga and Pilates and trying to improve your life and improve your body. And you might be doing an okay job. You might be doing an okay job with that self-improvement stuff. But why are you doing that self-improvement stuff? Is it for you? Or is it because you're lonely and you want to get laid? It's a two-part system there. What is it that you're craving and what is it that you're missing? Physical intimacy is very important to all of us, not just autistic people. But before you go touching an autistic person, same as before you go touching a woman, maybe you should ask first. When you're talking to the 80% that are never, ever going to amount to a goddamn thing on your dating scale, how about focus on how they can improve their lives by working together? They're not working together if they're trying to breed. Breeding is not a group activity. It can be, but that's not how it is in our heads. That's not how it is in most of nature, as far as mammals go. Now, we do get to see with bovine how the cows will follow the bull. The bulls will fight over the cows. It's the bull's fault that we have calves. If it weren't for the bull having sex with the cows that are chasing him, we wouldn't have any calves. So it's the bull's fault, and the bull needs to pay child support. What are you chasing him for? You know what kind of a bull he is. You know he's got lots of other cows chasing him. And that's the one that you want because everybody else wants him. Or because he's the victor of the violent thingy. Whatever that violent thingy happens to be. Today we kind of change that out with modern sports, don't we, in some cases? The fight for the women. No. Not all of us are fighting for your vagina. There's a lot of us who don't care about your vagina. There's a lot of women that don't care about your penis. They're never gonna care about your penis. Now, some of y'all might know some of them little 20-year-olds, and you're around 20 years old, and you're not that good-looking feller that she ever gave a shit about, and she's that cheerleader that you had a crush on. Well, you know what? She might pop out a couple of kids by the time she's 25 with a couple other dudes that, oh yeah, they were so dreamy. You got yourself a job, you got yourself a little bit of money, and it's not a lot of money, but you have a little bit of money because you're not spending it all on alcohol trying to get laid. That's my stepdad, Michael Scott Wade. God, life he could have had if my mom hadn't grabbed him up. I am the reason that my mom and Scott met. You guys keep focusing on the star of the relationship, the dating relationship, the sexual relationship, the potential for breeding relationship. There's a lot of other relationships out there, and you keep ignoring those. And the majority of our population is not one of those breeding relationship type of people. Some of them may want to be, but their standards are too high. The ones who don't have double standards are an anomaly to us. Man, that's weird. How do we got so many fat people dating fat people now? Well, here's the thing. Some people are attracted to fat people. Some people are attracted to skinny people. Some people are attracted to superficial people. And some people would rather just avoid you if you're wearing makeup. I'm one of them.